Pictures. What common sources of energy do they use? All these appliances use fossil fuels. Coal furnaces use coal. Vehicles run on petrol and diesel. Barbecue stoves use natural gas to burn. Coal, petroleum, and natural gas are the three types of fossil fuels. You must have come across the term fossil fuels. What are fossil fuels? A fuel is any type of material that stores energy and can be burnt to supply heat. A fossil fuel is a fuel that has formed over millions of years from the remains of dead plants and animals. Millions of years ago, plants that grew in forests fell into the nearby swamps when they died. Due to the lack of oxygen underwater, the dead plants did not decay completely. Instead, they turned into a layer of peat. With the passage of time, sediments brought in by the movement of water covered the peat, compressing it and burying it deeper. High pressure and temperature turned the peat into a soft brown coal called lignite. Sediments kept accumulating over the lignite until the water was totally absorbed. With the passage of time, high pressure and temperature turned the lignite into hard, black, anthracite coal. More than 100 million years ago, few seas and lakes had abundant bacterial organisms called plankton. When the plankton died, they sank to the bottom of the sea or lake. Due to the lack of oxygen underwater, the dead plankton did not decay completely. It accumulated in the mud, making it rich in organic matter. Sediments deposited over the organic matter, burying and compressing it underneath. This increased the pressure and temperature on the organic matter. As a result, the organic compounds broke down to form oil and natural gas. As oil and natural gas were less dense than water, they migrated upwards and filled the pores of permeable rocks. Oil fields and gas fields were formed in the places where impermeable rocks stopped further migration of the fuels. The extracted fossil fuels are treated to form various components. During the destructive distillation of coal, powdered coal is heated in the absence of oxygen. To obtain useful products like coal tar, ammonia, coal gas, and coke. Crude oil is vaporized in a furnace and sent into a fractional column, where the vapor cools down to form various products at varying temperatures. These products include lubricating oil, diesel, kerosene, gasoline, and petroleum gas.
Why do we feel warm beside a campfire? The burning logs emit heat in the form of infrared radiation. This heat is absorbed by the body, and that's how one feels warm near a campfire. Heat energy is also known as thermal energy. You experience thermal energy in your everyday life. Thermal energy can cause a change of state in matter. It can also be used to produce mechanical motion. The mechanical motion in this railway engine is generated from thermal energy. How does this engine work? Thermal energy is used to change water into steam. This steam is used to push the wheels into motion. Thermal energy is used for generating electricity. These power stations are called thermal power plants. Thermal energy is used to convert water into steam. The steam is further heated so that it can be maintained at high pressure. This pressurized steam is passed over the steam turbine. This rotates the turbines much as it makes the wheels of a rail engine move. The rotating turbine is connected to the generator. The generator consists of a coil which is rotated by the turbine. The coil is connected to transmission lines. When it rotates in a magnetic field, a current is generated in the coils. The electricity generated in the coils is then passed to high-power transmission lines. The transmission lines distribute the electricity. Dams are among the largest man-made creations on Earth. Do you know why dams are built? Dams are built for irrigation, water transportation, flood control, and the generation of electricity. Water can be used to generate electricity. In this simple experiment, water is made to fall on the vanes of a miniature turbine. The rotating shaft of the vanes is connected to the dynamo. The deflection in the voltmeter confirms that electricity is generated. Electricity generated in this way, that is, by using water, is called hydroelectricity or hydropower. Now, water can be used to generate electricity, yes, but this does not mean a stream or a pond in your garden will do. For the large-scale production of electricity, fast-moving water is required. Can you think why the speed of the water is so important in the production of electricity? In the generation of electricity from water, the kinetic energy of water is converted to electrical energy. More kinetic energy means that the vanes will turn faster. This in turn will generate more electricity. So, for the generation of electricity from water, we need fast-moving water. What are the good sources of fast-moving water? Fast-flowing rivers are a good source of hydropower. They have a lot of kinetic energy. Hydropower has been in use for many years now. Did you know that in olden times this form of power was used to grind grains at mills? A waterfall also consists of fast-moving water. However, there are very few waterfalls around the world which are good enough for the generation of electricity. Technical difficulties, financial feasibility, etc. have to be taken into consideration. Viable waterfalls and fast rivers are hard to find. To address this, dams have been constructed across many rivers. Dams collect water and then cause it to fall from a height onto turbines located below. Falling water has kinetic energy. This is converted into electricity. A hydropower plant is a place where electricity is generated from water. Dams are built across rivers and hydropower plants are set up inside them. Let us see how a hydropower plant works. The sluice gates control the flow of water at the top of the dam. The water flows from the penstock or sluice gate towards the turbines at the foot of the dam. The water falls on the turbines and makes them turn. The rotating shaft of the turbines is connected to the generator. In the generator, the coil rotates in a magnetic field to generate electricity. Depending on whether the generator has a slip ring setup or a slit ring setup, an AC or DC current is generated. The electricity is then transported using the high power transmission lines. Hydropower, as you may have noticed, is a very efficient source of power. Although hydropower is so efficient, the construction of dams is faced with sensitive ecological issues. Owing to the construction of dams, the ecosystems along the river downstream of the dam are affected. Fish find it difficult to traverse the river in shallow waters. Their supply of nutrients is also reduced. Owing to the trapping of water by the dam, the silt and minerals carried by the river do not pass this point. Farming becomes impossible further down the banks of these rivers. However, unlike most sources of energy, hydropower does not pollute the environment at all. It is also an inexhaustible source of energy. The dam stores water, which is also used for irrigation. This is an additional gain from the dam. The dam area can also be used for recreation and tourism, as well as fish farming. In case of heavy rainfall, the dams act as a barrier to flood waters. This protects the people living in the river valley.